Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Chris. I know it's been a little while since I made a video, but of course this is going to be my dislikes with my E92 335i. And I know there aren't too many in this video, but trust me, they are very important things that you guys should consider when you are looking at a used one of these cars. First off, I just want to introduce a sponsor for this video, which is Firmu Eyewear. As you can see, I'm wearing a pair of glasses from them. You guys can check the link below in the description and get yourself a discounted pair. You should be able to get a free pair of glasses from them, just pay for shipping. I really like these glasses a lot. They got my prescription perfectly, and I wear these more than my genuine pair of Oakleys that I used to wear before these. They're super comfortable, super high quality. The lenses have no glare or anything like that, and I like the style a lot. So there's a bunch of different styles you guys can pick from, and especially when it comes to driving, you want to make sure your eyesight is perfect and as best as it can be. So make sure you get yourself a nice pair of glasses from Firmu. And without further ado, we will start this video. So as you guys know, I have a 2007 E92 335i 6-speed manual. All the fancy options and everything that you can get. I have a little bit of some exterior stuff with the the 335IS front and rear bumpers, some tints, a little lip spoiler in the back, the little exhaust tips, and the black kidney grills. Despite all those amazing features of this car, there are still some drawbacks that really are starting to make me consider selling this thing. First being maintenance. Yes, the cheap shot of the N54 when it comes to maintenance. So this car was pretty good when I got it. When I got it, I noticed it was dripping oil a little bit, which was sort of concerning because it wasn't doing that until a few days after I started owning it, which was really convenient. I got the oil leak fixed recently, earlier this summer. It was the valve cover gasket, which was my suspicion. So I got that fixed and I redid the rear suspension. I took care of this at the dealer because I didn't really get any better quotes from an independent BMW shop in town, so I figured why not just get it done at the actual BMW dealership. The family of dealerships that I make videos for with the Alfa Romeo Maserati also has the BMW dealership, so I got a small discount. But even with the discount, I spent $2,200 repairing the rear suspension, or just redoing it, I guess, and getting the valve cover gasket fixed, which is insane. So that's something to consider. If you're going to be buying one of these cars, you're probably going to want to do most of the stuff yourself. If you're going to be repairing it or working on it, it just makes more sense than taking it to a dealer all the time. And with a car like this, it's definitely going to be having issues, because not long after I got that stuff repaired, I was driving on the highway, just cruising in 6th gear at about 2,000 RPMs. And all of a sudden I had low power mode come up and like an engine malfunction. So the car basically makes no boost and it's like limp mode. So that was really strange. I went to a gas station, gassed up the car, and went on my way driving, and I had no issue. And then a month later, it popped up again. And same thing, you know, turn the car off, turn it back on, it goes away. Then a week later it came up, and then it started happening every time I would drive on the highway. So I don't have a code reader. I wasn't sure what the problem could be, but I read online that the Vanos solenoids is a common issue, so I took those out and cleaned them off, and I haven't had an issue since. But the car still feels like in those low RPMs between 1,000 and 2,000, the car is like chugging, or like even a little bit like bucking a bit, which is really strange. So I don't know what that is. I don't have a code reader, but I have ordered one and it should be on the way, so we'll see what happens. On top of that, more recently, my DBC is malfunctioning, and that means the start assist turns off, the ABS system is disabled, and you know, all the lights on the dash come up. Your entire iDrive screen is constantly taken over by this big ABS warning, and it's really annoying because, you know, I don't know what caused that or why it's happening, but again, it's just something that is popped up. It could be a wheel speed sensor, which is cheap. It could be the entire ABS pump needs to be replaced, which is a $3,000 job. And I don't have that kind of money, to be quite honest with you guys, especially not for a car that I bought for only $9,000. So I'm not going to keep dumping money into this car if it's a big issue like that. I'm probably just going to have to sell it, because let's be honest, if I spent $9,000 on a car, I just put $2,200 into it. Why should I dump another $3,000 into it? That'll make me $5,200 into this car that I paid $9,000 for. I'll be investing half of the car's worth into it in just repairs, and that's only for 3 things: the rear suspension, that would be the ABS pump, and then the valve cover gasket. And on top of that, after I got the valve cover gasket fixed, the car is still dripping oil on my driveway, so I still have to park it out in the street. So I don't know what's causing that issue. The guy that I bought the car from told me that he fixed the oil filter housing gasket before, but I'm starting to think that a lot of these things that he said he fixed, he may not have actually fixed, and he may have conned me, so who knows. But yeah, one thing to really consider, if you buy one of these cars, check the maintenance records and have the car inspected at a mechanic's shop and get everything looked at thoroughly, because you do not want to buy one of these cars and just think, oh, it has the fuel pumps replaced and a few gaskets changed, it's good to go, because anything on these cars can go and it can be very, very expensive. So please, if you are looking at one of these cars, get it looked over and know what you're getting into and expect to pay up when the repair time comes. One other thing that I don't like about this car is some of the little quality pieces on the interior are not the greatest. So this is just particularly with my car, obviously, and I'm sure it's with all the other cars, but this is something you can easily look out for if you're gonna buy one of these. So for example, I'll take my key, put it in the ignition, and you see over here, I'll shut my door, and something's gonna come out to try and hand me the seatbelt. It doesn't hand me the seatbelt, right? It doesn't work, because these things, they start to go bad after a while, and they don't really hold up and actually push your seatbelt at you. They get really wobbly, they get really loose, and you have to replace these parts. And a new one of these on eBay is $189, and that's pretty crazy. And on my other side, I actually bought this car. You can see I don't even have anything in there because one, that side was already messed up, and two, my roommate got in the car and pulled on the seatbelt when it was caught, and it just ripped straight out, and I just figured, you know what, I'm not even gonna mess with that. Another part that gives me issues, this sunshade in the rear, you can see I have it up right now. Right now I have it up obviously because it's pretty hot out, and when I have the car parked it helps keep it in the shade. But I also have it up because a lot of the times when I have it sit down for a while, it doesn't come up. It'll just be stuck in the down position for until it randomly decides to come up when I press the button. So it'll work right now, obviously, if I press the button because it's been up, it'll go down, and then it should come back up if I press the button. We'll try it again. So there you go, yeah, it works, but a lot of times it does get stuck down, so make sure that's something you can check if you're buying one of these. One other thing that's not the most reliable on the interior, check these cup holders if you buy one of these. So this one works fine. This one gets stuck, so you really have to like hit the dash, and then slowly you have to kind of pull it out, and then if I push it back, you know, it doesn't really want to go back in. So those can be taken apart and cleaned, but again, that's not really worth it. I don't even use that cup holder ever. I barely use this one. So yeah, it's just a little thing you can check out if you're buying one of these. Another thing, pretty small issue, not a big deal, but this little switch for the seat doesn't really work. It's just totally loose. I didn't bother checking it when I test drove the car. It was my fault. But I just kind of, again, it's nothing I really expected to have an issue. And I think it only goes up. It doesn't even push, like if I push down, it won't go down. The seat only goes up. So just small things like that are easy for you guys to check out and not have an issue with, hopefully, in the future. So, you know, be sure to check out stuff like that and just be wary of some small interior quirks. I guarantee you'll never find one of these that has a working seatbelt butler. It's almost impossible. I've read on forums that pretty much every single car has its issues. Even cars that were only at like 40,000 miles, they started having the problem. So kind of sucks because you really do have to like reach all the way back, and it would be nice if it worked, but it's whatever. I've tried a lot of like little cheats to like get it to work. Like you can like iron the seatbelt or something, but that's only temporary. The real issue does come down to the fact that this is just it's just so flimsy. I mean, just look at it. It's not gonna work. Here's another cheap shot for you guys, the iDrive systems. It's not bad. People really do complain a lot about it, but it's not great. I mean, you can say, oh, you know, this car's from 2007. Nothing was really good back then in terms of entertainment systems or infotainment systems. But, you know, you guys can't really say that because I've been in plenty of other cars, and I'm sure, you know, many would agree that there's plenty of other cars from that era that had better infotainment systems. So you do have like this little knob down here that controls everything. It's not that bad. It's not the most intuitive. If you're fairly tech savvy or, you know, you're like a younger person, it's not going to be a big deal. But if you're someone who's, let's say, 40 or 50 years old, you're not really the most tech savvy, it's going to be pretty complex to use, because for me, the menu button sort of serves, you know, for, I guess, kids like us, the menu button you can also interpret as a back button, which it is because it takes you home, but an adult or someone that's not tech savvy wouldn't really know that or have any idea about that. Again, you have the eye on the button. That's not really intuitive that you click down and get information, but that's how it works. So if you click that, that's how you get all these settings. A normal person wouldn't assume that. The other problem is I believe this is also run off of a hard drive, so it can be pretty slow to load once you turn the car on. And at times I've had it where it doesn't even load up at all. When you turn the car on, a BMW logo, or it just says BMW, and then it will load the screen. Sometimes it'll just get stuck at the BMW logo, and for that entire trip, you are stuck without music, without any entertainment or anything. The screen is just locked on BMW, and that's that. So not a big deal. I mean, you can just turn the car off and turn it back on, but it's like, you know, if you start driving and you get moving, it's like then you have to stop, turn off the car. That's just a hassle that you don't really want to deal with. That's sort of unavoidable for those who are looking at these cars. It's not really something you can get over, but that is that. All right, guys, so that pretty much sums up the dislikes that I have with this car. Like I said, there's not very many, but they are very big points for you guys to look out for. And it's easy for those who are curious about buying one of these. You guys can check all of the things that I pretty much mentioned in this video on a future car that you're looking at and make sure you have all the mechanical kinks worked out. You can check for the little interior quirks, like the little pieces that might break or malfunction over time. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment your thoughts below or any questions. If you have any questions about these cars, I'm happy to answer for you. Please do not hesitate to ask. And if you have not already, be sure to click the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel for more future videos like this one. If I keep this car, I'll be sure to make more videos about it. And if not, we'll see what comes next. So thank you guys very, very much for watching. I always appreciate it. Take care.